It's story time. Hello. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day to read a book. What are you reading? Let me know. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. All righty. Oops. Hello, Tomas. Hello, Liliani. Hello. I just finished a cage talk that was on secrets, which was really, really powerful. And I was choosing, someone made the suggestion that I would choose from this book because I was going to choose from the 3 books that I have behind me. And this one jumped out and was suggested. Hello, Lucy. Bonjour. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Suraramdan. Creating After Abuse. Chapter 1, The Invisible Cage. Do you wake up in the morning and start running through the litany of things that are not right in your life or that you did wrong yesterday? These are all forms of self-judgment. One of the hallmarks of the invisible cage. The irony is that the only thing that is truly wrong when you do this is that you are judging yourself. Judgment is an insidious yet subtle energy. When used against yourself, you become your own eternal jailer, trapped in falsely believing that you are flawed, wrong, and worthless. If you keep thinking something is wrong all the time, then you're going to create and manifest that it is, so that you can prove yourself right, at least about that. There is a part of us that likes to verify that which we have deemed to be negative. It is a familiar sense that we become used to calling home. The challenge with judgment is that it doesn't allow for the freedom and expansiveness of greater possibilities. Instead, you keep yourself small and struggling, going against the stream. Hola, Lucia. Boa tarde. Tarde. Tarde is Spanish. Tarde, I believe, is Portuguese. Hello, Mihaila from Romania, which we will have Creating After Abuse. In fact, all of the books, not only in Romanian, but more languages. This one just came out in Turkish. Right now we have Spanish, Turkish, and English. And more to come. I wonder what language is next. Getting past judgment is one of the key components of getting out of the invisible cage and beyond the clutches of abuse, even if that abuse is gaslighting you. Throughout this book, we are going to explore the judgments you inflict on yourself and others, as well as the unintentional but direct outcomes often created as a result. What, you asked? What is judgment of others? Yes, explore the judgments you inflict on yourself and others. Well, if you're judging yourself, you have a certain viewpoint and you see through it and you make everything that you see into that viewpoint. So therefore, you're right and they're wrong. That is a judgment. Yes, Turkish. It is great. We have all 3 books in Turkish. Radically Alive Beyond Abuse. Lies of Money was just done a couple of months ago, updated from the original publishing, and now Creating After Abuse is alive and kicking on Amazon and Access Consciousness Publishing. Okie dokie. So let's talk about judgments. All those people that you're judging right now, they probably are, you're probably looking at them through your own judgments of you or what you feel insecure or limiting or what's sabotaging you. And it's easier to point the finger out there at somebody else, something else, or someone else, and never take responsibility for it yourself. I was a professional at that for quite some time. No longer. If you want to create after any kind of abuse in your life, including the gaslighting and judgments of you, stop judging you, stop judging others. And if you got an upset in your world, take a look at what you're upset about, because it's inside of you. Change you, drop the judgments. So let's see what else. My story. Are you okay? She asked me. It seemed like a simple question, but the truth was, it was the first time anyone had ever asked me if I was okay. I was 21 at the time. I paused, considered her question. The answer, of course, was a definite no. I really wasn't okay. And as I sat there in my office with my family violence psychologist, I wondered if I had actually ever been okay. It was a turning point, that moment, one that was to begin a phenomenal journey of not only healing my own abuse issues, but helping countless people around the world to do the same. It was like someone finally saw beyond my facade, my veil pierced. I could no longer hide from the pain or push it away. I started to cry for the first time in years. I learned it wasn't safe to cry a long time before that. It was something I wouldn't have dared to do around my mother, the consequences being far too severe. Up until my turning point, I had lived in an invisible cage. Not an actual cage, of course, a metaphysical one, a metaphorical one. Unaline, Ernair, 21, hello. Ciao Bella, Loredana, and yes, Creating After Abuse is coming in Italian as well. And French, yes, they're coming. They're all in the queue. It's just about like the Pez dispenser. And when it comes, it's so delicious. Which color am I going to get? Which language am I going to get? Pink, orange, blue, Italian, Turkish, French, Hebrew. So, I lived in an invisible cage, a metaphorical one. If you're caught up in an abusive pattern at this point in your life, or have been in the past, you will probably know what I mean. It's something that the tens of thousands of people who have connected with me through my work and my radio show have also been able to relate to. The invisible and often indefinable cage that abuse creates. It's the silent oppressor that we end up defining ourselves from within. I just did a whole call on secrets about this, and man, it is ringing true. That's why I decided to read from this book today. Okay. Because secrets are an invisible cage. Up until that point, my life had been a tirade of almost never-ending physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. It was pretty much all I knew. Today, I can share my story from an entirely different space of healing, keeping in mind that while I'm aware enough of my emotional triggers to choose differently, I do still have to use the tools and techniques that I'm offering, that I facilitate at all times when that stuff comes up. Nothing happens overnight, and it's an ongoing process. And frankly, change is constant. It's like you don't wake up every day and ask for the same, your body doesn't ask for the same food. You don't want to wear the same clothes. And let's hopefully, you're not wearing, the same things over and over again, especially undergarments. Okay. Hello, Jasna. You want to change. It's not as hard as we make it out to be. Yes, some doors may close if you change, but so much really opens when you let go. Like many children who experience abuse, mine came from numerous sources, but it was my experiences with my mother that had by far the greatest impact. Growing up, we were trained not to say anything about what we thought or how we felt. If we did, we were literally beaten and tortured. My mother's rage was fueled by an undiagnosed personality disorder. It is no coincidence that I later ended up studying psychology and doing the work that I'm doing now. Now, what's really so important about that is I can tell you about my mother and my past, and maybe people can go, oh my God, she was this, that, and the other thing. And that was true then, and it's no longer true now. Because once you free yourself from the invisible cage, the stories and the tragedies and the traumas that locked you and connected you with somebody like a mother or a grandfather or a brother or a sister or a death or a loss or a tragedy, once you free yourself from the cage, it no longer has a hold on you. And therefore, you see through the eyes of you in gratitude, in appreciation for the lesson, in the movement beyond the mess into the message. And you live your life creating from this space of radical aliveness that is what we're all divinely intrinsically born with the possibility to choose. It's just these things that occur over and over and over and over again, sometimes, that takes us by surprise. We get disappointed, we get hurt, we get bitter, we get cynical, and we lose ourselves and dissociate from ourselves, essentially. And then we put on this persona that seems like us, feels like us, but it's really the weight of those situations that we never associate the truth to, even our own truth. And therefore, we become locked in that judgment. And therefore, that's how we see the world. And perhaps you've been seeing the world and the people in it erroneously, just from what's not actually resolved. This is Creating After Abuse. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on Access Consciousness Publishing. If you happen to be in the Texas area this weekend, it's Halloween weekend here in America. Feel free to pop by. I'm facilitating a one-day Access Consciousness Bars class this weekend and a number of other classes through the month of November. Take a look at drlisacooneycf.com, and maybe I'll see you at my new home here in Texas. I'd love to have you and share with you these tools. And for other events that I'm doing, take a look at drlisacooney.com/events and see what's going on. Creating After Abuse, my friends. If you like this, subscribe to let me know that I'm coming on live Tuesdays and Thursdays. Books. If there's a particular book you want to hear about, hi, Emma and Gabby. Feel free to email customer care at drlisacooney.com or let me know right here. And like I said, you're welcome to come to my bars class this weekend on Saturday, and you still have trick or treat, whatever that's going to look like this year, on Sunday, if you're live here in the Texas area. Otherwise, take a look at drlisacooneycf.com or drlisacooney.com/events. I hope you're doing well. And if nobody's told you that they love you today, I do. Take care. You got this. Now go be great.